making a Mexican fruit cake. And here's some of the ingredients we're going to be using. So you'll see them in the description, and stay tuned. Okay, we're going to start. We have 3/4 of a cup of white sugar and 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. With that, 2 eggs and 3 tablespoons of a neutral oil. I'm using coconut oil. You can use canola, vegetable oil, whatever you like. I wouldn't use olive oil, it's too strong a flavor in this recipe. I would use something fairly neutral. Or if you can't find any oil, then you can use butter. Melted butter will be fine. So we're going to cream this together first. And as we start creaming that together, that's coming together pretty nicely. We're going to add the pineapple. Now, used to you could get this, I went to my store today, in a 20-ounce can, which is what the recipe calls for. They did not have it. They only had 15.5-ounce cans. So I'm going to use not quite all of the second can of this one. I'll use about maybe a little more than a third, since this doesn't have to be perfect, it needs to be close. So this is a crushed pineapple. There's 1 full can at 15 ounces. And since the recipe calls for 20, I'll put in maybe about a third of that can. I'm a little less than a third, so there's a little more. Okay. So now, I'm gonna mix this back together again. This cake is very, very easy to make. Another way I have not put it preheating the oven. I want to set that now. 325. Okay, our next step, now that we've creamed the eggs, oil, and the together, and sugar, and the pineapple, we're going to add 2 cups of flour to this. Does not need to be sifted. You can sift it, but it's not really necessary. I'm going to start with 1 cup and kind of put that in there slowly. Then do the other one. I might have to go get my spoon to kind of knock down the sides. I like to put this more on the heaping cups, so a little over, if anything. Better than a little less. But you have a lot of liquid in this with the pineapple and all the fruit that's going in it. So I'm just grabbing my spoon that I can, it's on the other side of my kitchen, unfortunately. So I can just scrape down the sides of the bow. I have to take the bow out to really get to it. Okay, that's pretty good. Yep, now we're done. So, this is a pretty sweet little cake. I wouldn't say it's super sweet with all the fruit in it. Okay. The next step is we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of baking powder to this. So I'm getting my baking soda. I should have had this out already. Sorry about that. I left it in my spice pantry. So there's one. There's two. And one. Okay. So now I'm gonna slowly get that in there. Now I'm going to mash in the banana. I'm going to kind of squeeze it up in my hands, half the banana, well, in pieces. Throw it in there. It's better if you have a riper banana, but I had to just buy this today. So it's not green. It's ripe, but not like well ripe. And next, what we're going to add is a little bit of coconut flakes. And you can either use unsweetened or sweetened. It doesn't matter. I happen to have some sweetened here. So this is maybe not a lot left in this bag. I'm just going to use that. Probably about 3 tablespoons left in this bag. 3 to 3.5 tablespoons. A little heavier on the coconut than normal, but that won't hurt it. And then next what we're going to add is we're going to add some chopped walnuts. So we're going to leave some for the icing, but we want some in the mixture as well. Well, I've got one spice. I need to add a half of a teaspoon of nutmeg. So let me get that measured out. There's the half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I have not added vanilla yet either, but I will probably, well, I'll go ahead and add the vanilla now. We're going to do, before I add the nuts, then I'll add the nuts. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So there's 1, there's 2. Vanilla, and this is, I'm using pure vanilla. I mean, you can use imitation vanilla if that's what you have, but real vanilla is a little better, I believe. And now we're going to add the nuts. Probably about 3/4 of a cup to the cake. I have some that are already chopped up in the bag, so I'll have to turn this off or it's going to make a mess on the nuts there. And I think that's going to be pretty much it for this cake. We're going to pour it into a 9x13 casserole dish. You can use glass. I'm just using a ceramic one. Or you can use a metal one, whatever you have. Just make sure it's greased. And here we are in our greased casserole dish. I just took the easy route and sprayed it with butter spray. Just made my life easier. But you can use oil or butter, whatever you like. So now I'm just going to put it in the oven at 325 and going to let it cook for about 50 minutes and then check it. It may need a few more minutes, but if it comes out clean with a toothpick, it'll be ready to go. Okay, our cake came out of the oven just a couple of minutes ago. At 50, we are still warm but not hot. It's been cooling maybe about 10 minutes. It was fine after 50. It came out clean with a toothpick. So now we're getting ready to start the icing. And I'm going to move the cake out of the way. I'm going to show you a shot of it. The icing is just 1 stick of butter, softened, 1 8-ounce hunk of cream cheese, softened, and some powdered sugar. I need to look how much. 2 cups of powdered sugar and a half a teaspoon, of vanilla. grab my measuring spoons. I had them over here to wash them. So I'm just now kind of opening my flour sugar bag. This thing, it can be messy if you're not careful with this stuff. Okay. And I'm going to need a very dry cup. This one's a little wet. Let's see. Try it a little better. Okay. I'm going to start with 1 cup in it. Oh, another thing I'm going to do, this is not in the recipe, but if you remember, I had some leftover crushed coconut. I'm just doing this more for flavor and to add a little moisture to the recipe. I'm going to put a tablespoon of the crushed coconut down in there too, just for some flavor and to give it a little moisture. I got to start slowly to kind of incorporate the okay. Get ready to add the second one. Okay. I'll probably have to turn it off first or I'll make a mess. Oops. Very tasty. Right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a few of the, I'm using walnuts, not pecans. You can use either one. A few of the nuts down in it, and some I'm going to throw on top. And there's our icing. A little more nuts. Okay. I'll show it to you once I frost the cake. Okay, here's the finished frosted cake with some extra nuts added on the top of the frosting that were left over. And I just want to let you know that I almost forgot, that's why I set everything aside when I'm baking. I saw the vanilla last second and added it before I frosted it. It was still in the mixer, so I was able to still add my ½ teaspoon of vanilla, mix it in. So that was added. I didn't show that on film, but that was added. And this cake, by the way, it'll be good today, but it's excellent tomorrow. Day 2 is always the best day. So if you can make it a day ahead, it's better. It just comes more together and it gets more moist. So we'll probably be enjoying a slice tonight and definitely enjoying it tomorrow.